the guy was talking about the English languages, then they doesn't mean different meaning, and it was interesting because I'm learning English. So and the lady from Mexico at the immigration, it was funny because I had that same experience kind of.
My name is Barbara Poggemiller, and I've had the pleasure and the privilege of directing this second phase of this experience of working with puppets created by people that are new to Canada, and these puppets are a reflection of their experience immigrating to a new country.
When they say, with the greatest respect, what is understood is...
He is listening to me.
What they mean is...
I think you're wrong.
When they say, that is an original point of view, what is understood is...
He likes my ideas.
What they really mean is...
You must be crazy.
So for me it's really interesting to dig deeper into each one, not just to have a homogenized general view, but to really go into each corner and get those kernels of truth and knowledge and beauty that they all have, and they're amazing. And it actually helps me so much with my own experience as an immigrant, because it resonates so much with what I've been feeling all these years that I moved here, and just seeing newcomers going through the same and being active about it, trying to form community, making a beautiful project like this. It just gives me hope, hope for the future, and it cements my own understanding of what it is to be an immigrant, what it means, and what we all have to do in order to have a good experience here.
The Canadian border guard asked me my name and nationality. I answered. He asked me for my landed immigrant card. I gave it to him. Then he asked me my occupation. And I told him, I'm a writer. He said nothing at all for a surprisingly long time. I wondered what was happening. I waited with that strange facial expression peculiar to the presence of border guards. You never know if they'll suspect you for smiling too much or for not smiling enough, for giving too much information or for not giving enough, for saying you're a writer or that you're from Mexico. I tried to look pleasant and unconcerned, which probably means that I look nervous, which I'm sure is setting off alarms in his easily alarmable border guard mind. I also resent his power, which makes my face slightly red and my eyes slightly hard. I'm ready for a fight, even though I haven't done anything wrong, and he doesn't have a reason in the world to detain me. Then I realized the man was crying.
I always wanted to be an artist.
He said.
You think I wanted to be a border guard? I've ruined my life.
Why don't you quit and become an artist? I asked him.
You're right. That's what I've got to do. Thank you. Thank you.
He wiped his cheek as he stamped my passport.
Welcome to Canada.
A lot of the women have children. And so, even though it has been very difficult for them to move, especially if it was an idea of their husbands, so not their idea, they're basically just following their husbands. It's beautiful to see how when they're telling you the story, the moment you ask them about their kids, it changes. Even the expression in their face changes. And there is no negativity. There is no, oh, I would like to go back. They understand fully that they need to be here.
My child spoke his first English words today.
Wir saßen am Tisch und er zeigte auf sein Essen,
und sagte sein neues Wort.
Apple pie.
Ich war so stolz auf ihn.
I am very proud of him.
Weil doch das ein Wort ist in einer Sprache, die er sein ganzes Leben lang sprechen wird. Naja, ich weiß, er wird unsere Sprache vielleicht vergessen.
He may forget our language, I know.
Zu Hause sprechen wir Deutsch, aber in der Schule und dann später bei der Arbeit wird er Englisch sprechen. Naja, und vielleicht wird er sich an jemanden verlieben, der unsere Sprache nicht spricht, und dann seine neue Familie wird unsere Sprache nicht gebrauchen können.
Maybe he will fall in love with someone who doesn't speak our language.
Auf jeden Fall, das ist eine von vielen Brücken, die wir als Familie überquert haben. Ja, und es wird noch mehrere geben, aber er wird derjenige sein, der sie überqueren muss. Und ich werde ihm folgen, glücklich, aber nicht wie eine Mutter.
This is a bridge that we will cross, and I will follow behind him, gladly, but not like a mother.
Ich werde hinter ihm stehen und ihm folgen, wie ein warmer Sommerwind.
I will follow like a trailing wind, warm but behind him. He spoke his first English word today, but I do not know what it was, because I did not understand it.
Mein Sohn hat heute sein erstes Wort in Englisch gesagt, aber ich wusste nicht, was es bedeutete, weil ich es nicht verstanden habe.
Apple pie.
Oh, Apfelkuchen!
So we had in our mind that these puppets at some point would become part of the stories we were telling. So we sort of felt our way through the stories and then imagined how puppets would become an enhancement to the stories. And we found that in specific stories were really conducive to some of the puppets, you know, being engaged as storytellers.
In Iran, it is customary to refuse a gift several times. So one day, my father met a man from Canada, and they became great friends. The man offered our entire family tickets to move to Canada and jobs. Nah, merci. The man was disappointed, but he called again a couple days later to see if my father would reconsider this offer. Nah, merci. But my father refused. Now, to my dad, everything was going according to plan. We packed all our belongings and talked excitedly about our new life in Canada. But unfortunately, Canadian customs end much sooner. The man gave up. Now, you might think that in times of need, someone might forget this custom. You might think that if he's desperate, he'd accept the gift maybe the first time, or at least ease up on the number. But that's not the way things like this work. It's in times of need that we need to remember who we are and when we most need our pride. And when life is hard, you've got to hold on to something. So one day, the man came over to say goodbye. His business was done. He was going home to Canada the next day, and he didn't expect to come back anytime soon. He was grateful for the friendship he made with my father, and he'd always remember us. And then we watched as he walked to the door and opened it to leave. But then he turned, and he said,
I don't mean to offend you, and if you refuse, I swear I will never mention it again. But I really would be very glad if you would come to Canada with me.
yes! And here I am today.
The beautiful thing about a community event and giant puppets like this is that everyone can make them. And everyone can feel like they're a part of it, and that's the beauty of this kind of theater.
Brick by brick. And someday, it will be a beautiful country.
The most beautiful country in the world.